Next thing you know, I get a phone call from such and such airlines, and I'm like, oh my god, I was so freaking excited. I picked up my phone. I was like, hello. The lady was like, hi, is it? I was like, yeah. Oh my god, yes, 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 yes. Woo! Thank you. Oh, this is me. Hey y'all, so it is about, I think, 4 days since I last spoke to y'all. I didn't get to continue the footage the morning of my face-to-face because I was literally in a rush. I was so anxious and I just didn't have time to pick up my camera. However, I was able to enter some clips, so hopefully that kind of was helpful. I didn't really get to get a cute picture or view of my dress because I had my blazer on, and I just, like I said, I was running out of time. But that dress was so cute. I want to show it to you guys one day in the future when I get a chance, because it literally is so cute, and I got it from a thrift store. It was brand new. But of course I couldn't wear it without the blazer because I do have like a rose on my arm, so that really sucked. However, after I showed you guys the room and stuff and I went to sleep, I woke up, got ready for my face-to-face interview. I headed to the shuttle, the 6:30 shuttle, and I had all my luggage with me because they told us to bring all of our luggage because after the face-to-face interview they were going to lift us to the airport, which I really appreciated because I was so afraid that I was gonna have to pay for 2 nights. However, only Frontier was like, oh, we need you to stay for 2 nights, but with this airline that I went with, they only need you to be there for 1 night, and they were gonna pay for our bags and our ride back to the airport. The good news is I did get my CJO. I'm super excited. You guys, you don't understand. I was so nervous. I literally stumbled on about the last 3 questions that the interviewer asked me, and when people say, oh, just do your research, they really mean do your research and just look up interview questions, because there were about 5 to 6 different interviewers that day because I guess there were so many of us, so everybody had like different questions for each of us. And I know that because after everybody did their interview, we all came together and was like, oh, what did they ask you? And the questions that I got were not the questions that they got. I swear I got 21 questions. I swear I got 21 questions, and everybody else got like a few questions. And maybe that's why I stumbled up, because I was just like, oh my god, I didn't expect all these questions. And the questions that I was practicing were any of the questions she asked me. Of course she did ask me situational questions, but literally the questions that I prepared for were none of the questions that she asked me. So you literally should just take into consideration every possible question. And I just want to I just want to tell you guys this. It's so embarrassing. So after I did my face-to-face interview, I had to sit back down and just kind of wait in the waiting area where everybody else was at, waiting to be called and do their fingerprinting and stuff like that. So I was so sad. Like, I got so into my shell because I was like, oh my gosh, I messed this up. Like, why did I answer these questions like that? I literally got so nervous during the face-to-face interview. I was ready to just call it quits, and I'm glad I didn't. I just improvised. I literally just started saying anything. I want to say one of the questions that I choked up on that was just so stupid. I don't even know why my mind just went blank. It was a safety related question, but the way it was worded to me, it confused me. I had to ask her to repeat a question at least twice, 2 different questions 2 different times. I was so confused the way she worded it, so I really couldn't answer it, so I made up anything. As you guys know, if you've done your research, they ask about safety because that is the most important part of our job, providing safety to these passengers. So safety is their #1 priority. We're not just serving people drinks and boarding them, you know what I'm talking about? So she asked me a question and I literally responded with something about gloves, that I was working at a job where we handled food and one of my coworkers didn't have a glove. and I felt like it was a violation because they had hair on their arms and all this other stuff that just, I mean, of course they wear gloves. This applies to being a flight attendant as well because you're handling food and snacks and drinks. But it's just like, why would I say that, you guys? I was so upset with myself. But in the end, I kind of wrapped it up when they asked me about what my talent card said, because the talent card is basically what you receive after taking your assessment, which is kind of like a personality test, I guess, a summary of your personality, and I really remembered everything from that because it described me perfectly. So she asked me about that at the end, and I was able to kind of just save the day with that. Like I really don't know, but whew, it was just, oh my goodness, I was so upset, like I said, that when I got back to the waiting area space with everyone else, I just ended up being in my shell again. I was so upset with myself. I was so sad. I got into my phone and I just started working on something that they asked me to kind of like tweak a bit. I think I was having issues with understanding, what I should put on my resume as far as like my work history from like that goes back to like 10 years, because I feel like it wasn't relevant to the job, but you know, they want to know, and in a way it was relevant to the job. I don't know why I didn't put that. I don't know, I guess I just felt like it wasn't relevant to the job, but apparently it was relevant to the job because I got my CJO and I was working there for 4 years, because they were trying to understand the gap between 2016 to when I was like 18. They were like, what is going on here? Like, were you not working or what? So I filled that in. So that's what I was doing when I returned back to the little waiting area, and some people were trying to talk to me and I was just so angry with myself. So if you were there and you feel like I was ignoring you guys, I was just so angry with myself, trying not to cry. And I was just like in my phone trying to update everything that they asked me to update before I headed to the airport. So I was really trying to get that out the way because I wasn't sure if that was going to influence the decision and how long I had until they needed that information, because like I said, we ended up leaving as soon as we got done with our interviews and our fingerprinting. So, you know, I didn't want to wait too long. I didn't know what time I was going to return. I assumed I was going to catch an earlier flight. However, me and a couple of the other people weren't able to catch an earlier flight back to New York. We had to catch our 7 o'clock flight, you guys. And I mean, I could do a whole separate video about the whole interview thing if you guys would like. So let me just kind of move on to after I finished the face-to-face. They offered us a lift. So they have this code where you literally put it onto the Lyft app and it's $0. I think you get like 2 rides on there, but of course I wasn't going to use the other ride because it never said that we can use the code when we got back to our home to get to our crib. They only said that we can use that code to get from the hiring event to the airport. So I was like, I'm not gonna take that chance, because I'm kind of thinking about like when they say you cannot use your flight benefits during training, you can only use it after you get the job. So I was just like, let me not make a mistake. So yeah, so they got the lift for us and I headed back to the airport with about 3 people. They were all from New York, and I really vibed with this one girl, which is crazy. She actually worked at the airport I worked at, and I actually never saw her because we were working in 2 different terminals. However, you know, we got to talk about that, and I really thought that we were going to end up in training together. However, I think she didn't meet the height requirement. That was like literally the only thing, because this girl was really cool. She had a great spirit, and of course she had experience, but there is a height requirement, which made no sense because when we were on the airplane, I was like, wait, stand up and like check to see if you could reach the overhead where the bags go, and she literally could reach it. So I really think that some of these airlines need to do a little tweaking on their height requirements, because she was perfectly fine to reach it in my opinion from what I can see, and she didn't have to tiptoe or anything. So that was just really strange. I feel like they need to kind of like work on that a little bit. It's not fair to people that really want this opportunity. So yeah, oh yeah, one more thing that I did during the face-to-face interview, we did a group activity where we had to make paper planes which is what you guys see up here. A really cool, you know, memorable thing that I took with me, a nice little memory. I thought it was really cute. And yeah, we had to just kind of build paper planes. Shout out to the girl in our group, I'm not gonna say her name, but girl, you saved us. We needed you and you did it, and we were good. We were ready for takeoff. Shout outs to you. And we all had a role that we had to do. I mean, that's a whole nother video. So yeah, like I said, we got back to the airport and I was still thinking about, oh my gosh, why did I say something about gloves, knowing that I had other ideas in my head, but it kind of just did not come to me. Like my mind just went blank. I just started overthinking everything. And yeah, so we were in the airport waiting for our flight for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 5 hours, and we were just talking, and I was telling her, oh my gosh, why would I really talk about gloves? Like, we was really cracking up. She was like, yes girl, I don't know why you said that. I was just really cracking up. Like, it became funny to me after that, like, and I just was accepting it in that moment. Anyway, so we grabbed a drink, and you guys, we were in Minnesota. I don't know who really goes to Minnesota. No shade or disrespect if you live in Minnesota, but what is there to do in Minnesota? And you don't see a lot of, like, I don't even want to say it, but you know, I don't see a lot of diversity in Minnesota. So it was a little strange to me when I was encountering a few of the people in Minnesota, not the people that were at the hiring event, just like the people that worked in Minnesota. Okay, so me and one of the people that were at the event grabbed a drink, and you guys, the bartender, you guys, oh my gosh, I just don't really know, like, I don't know if she was hired through like a program that helps people that are rehabilitating. I really don't know, and that's no disrespect to anybody. However, this lady seemed like she was on something, and like, if you know, you know. I really don't know. And she was just like really red, and she was just like shaky all over the place, and I feel like if I got close enough, she'd probably have a weird smell, and I'm just being very honest. And that right there was a red flag for me. However, I was like, let me just grab this drink. We don't want to keep walking around the airport, because that airport is literally like so big, and like you literally are just better off taking the air train to the next restaurant over. It's just like a very, it's like a long block. And even if you want to go to baggage claim, you have to hop on the air train. I've never been in the airport where you had to take the air train for baggage claim. So that's why we were like, you know what, we're gonna just stay here and grab a drink here. The bartender took my drink order, and like I said, I just didn't have a good vibe about her. And even the people that were sitting at the bar that were more of like her ethnicity, they were just so like, you know, like they were just so uncomfortable. They felt the vibe. So it wasn't no like, I'm not trying to be like disrespectful or judge anybody like that, but you can tell she should have never came to work that day. Something was off, and me and the other customers were just like, again, I'm not really trying to judge her, but I just want to paint this picture for you guys. And so, you know, I put all of that aside and was like, you know, I'm just gonna still get this drink. She wouldn't be working here, right, if something was wrong, right? So I ordered a drink. I ordered I think it was tequila and pineapple. The girl I was with ordered something else, something that had like pop rocks on it. It looked really good. And as I'm sipping my drink, you guys, I felt something in my mouth, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's like the pulp from the pineapple juice. You guys, no. Oh my gosh. So I felt it like in the back of my jaw, like stuck up there in the cheek area, and I just like, somebody just told me to like take it out. And it was literally a fly. It was a fly, a disgusting fly that just flies on things that stink. Oh my goodness, flies are so disgusting. So I spit it out. I'm like, oh my god. I couldn't even brush my teeth because it was in my checked luggage, and I just started like spitting in this napkin. I felt so disgusting doing that at the bar. I was like, oh my god, like I'm so disgusted, I'm about to throw up. So I took it out and I put it on the napkin, and I told the girl next to me, and she's like, oh my god, you need to tell her, get him a drink. And I was like, oh my god, I don't want to be controversial. I don't want to come off like I'm trying to get a free drink. Like, I don't really know. We're in Minneapolis, we don't it's, you know, it's just something like, I don't know, if you know, you know. So I was just like, just leave it alone. I'm not even gonna finish this drink. She was like, no, you should tell her so she can get you another drink. And I was like, honestly, I don't even want another drink from her. Like, to be honest, I don't want another drink from her. So eventually she was like, oh my god, I'm gonna tell her. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna be a big girl. We called the lady over. At first the bartender was ignoring us, and she was talking to these other people that were at the bar with us, and they were just kind of looking at her like she was weird. Like, it was just really awkward. So eventually she came over, and I was like, hey, I found a bug in my drink. And she was like, oh, well, I can get you another drink. This is what she said. She's like, oh, well, I can get you another drink, but I'm not giving you a whole new glass. I can give you half a drink, not a whole glass. It had to be something else. It couldn't have been a drink because I just opened that. That was a brand new pineapple juice. So I don't know, you know, sometimes these flies just come around, and I'm just like, that's not how you apologize. That's not how you give customer service. And I'm just sitting here like, yeah. She's like, oh, do you want another drink? I was like, yeah, sure. So she got me another drink, and even though I said I didn't want a drink from her, I was like, let me just give her the benefit of the doubt one more time. So she takes my cup away, which is like half empty, but it still has a lot of the drink in it, you know. I barely finished that drink. So she takes my drink, she heads over to the other side of the bar, which is kind of blocked off by some sort of like wall in the middle, and then she walks around. She still has my other drink in her hand, and she gets another cup, a shorter cup, and she takes my drink over to the other side where you can no longer see her. So I'm like, I don't know if she's gonna pour the remaining of my drink in the other cup and just add some more alcohol and ice. Like, I was like, I don't really trust it, because I'd rather her make the drink in front of me. I just wasn't really feeling the vibes, and I don't know why I felt like I kind of saw her kind of tilt my other drink into the other cup a little bit. Like, I saw her elbow kind of like, I don't know. So after that, I was like, I'm not drinking that drink. So she brought the drink back, and I was like, oh, thank you, whatever the case may be. And I was like, okay, so can we, you know, we want to close our tab. So we ended up paying her, and as soon as she walked away, being that girl, got up and out. I left the drink right there. I didn't even drink it. I'm like, you know what, girl, you can have it. That's on me. You can keep it. So we were like, yeah, we're gonna go to another part of the airport and get a different drink. So we ended up walking, and we ran into, what is that place called? I think it was Buffalo Wild Wings. And you guys, I should have went there from the jump. That drink was so good. Like, I don't know why I didn't go there first. I went there and I got like a margarita, and it was so good. Like, you can taste it was, yeah. And the vibes was good, the music was better. I don't even think the other bar had music, but the music was better. It was there, and it was definitely more diversity there. And I just kind of felt like I should have went there from the jump. I left the bartender a nice tip. Well, $3 or whatever. I was broke. I also think maybe the fly was like either already in that cup, or it was inside of the ice. Like, I don't know what it was, but it was, I don't know. It had to have already been in the cup. Maybe it was already in the cup because it smelled something sweet, or it was in the ice. And you guys, I don't know. I really don't know what the case may have been, but I just don't understand how you couldn't have seen that a fly, like a black fly, was in there, you guys. Like, that's something you just do not miss. Yeah, long story short, that's what happened. I think the bar was called like Twin something. I don't know. It was called Twin something inside of the Minneapolis airport. 0 out of 10, do not recommend. So yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened at the face-to-face and the aftermath. So eventually it came time for us to get on our flight, like 5 hours later. That's the longest I've ever talked to somebody I just met, and the vibes was good. Maybe because he was from New York, I don't know, but it was good. Majority of my class that was at the interview were from New York, because they're literally hiring for New York. There was only one person, as far as I'm concerned, that was not from New York. They were from Connecticut, but majority of the people were from New York. And we ended up kind of running into, I think it was like 2 more people when we got to our gate, and for some odd reason all of our seats ended up being changed. And when we got on the plane, we realized they grouped us all together, and we got those Comfort Plus seats. I was so happy. But you guys, oh my goodness, although I enjoyed the seats and I enjoyed sitting with my future crew, there was a kid behind me literally kicking the chair the entire flight. Like, my lower back, oh my goodness, I wanted to cry. The mother was literally just laughing, thinking it was cute, and she wasn't saying anything. And it's like, it's not like it was a crying baby. It was like these kids were like 5, no, they were like 6 years old, and they were just like kicking the back of my chair, and she wasn't saying anything. I was like, oh my goodness. Me and the girl that was sitting next to each other were just like, wow, this is crazy. She's literally just allowing them to just do whatever. And they were like yelling, like they were just yelling, and she wasn't saying anything. It's not like they were crying because they were scared, you know. That's different, you know. You can't really, if a child is scared, they're scared. It's a plain, you know. But they were literally just not using their inside voices, and the mom wasn't saying anything, you guys. It was crazy. And I would have been okay with the noise had I not been getting kicked the entire flight. And I just was like, oh my god, like when I become a flight attendant, how can I deal with a passenger that is going through that, you know? Because it was a full flight. There wouldn't have been any way to change the seats or anything like that. And the mom, she just, you can tell she lets her kids do whatever they want to do, and she just thought it was cute, I guess. I mean, there are certain things that are cute, but that just was not, I don't think, personally, my nieces and nephews, they wouldn't do that, personally. Not even when they were 5. They would never do that. They would never kick the back of a chair or anything like that at all. Like, I grew up on certain rules and matters, and I would never do that, like, at all. So that happened on the plane. Other than that, it was pretty cool. I was happy I got to sit with people that I knew, recognized. And so I got back to the airport in New York City, and I literally ended up getting home at 3:33 a.m. although my flight landed at 12 a.m. The same way you guys saw me head to the airport, which was a little bit of a faster travel time because it was in the daytime, so the trains in New York City weren't having delays, and they were actually running express. At nighttime, it's a whole different ball game. I expected that because I used to work at the airport, and that was kind of just regular, especially those times of the mornings. Like, the trains run 20 to 30 minutes at a time, and they do go local. So yeah, so I ended up on the train for about 3 hours, and the train actually switched tracks, which meant I had to transfer over to another train. And I was super scared because there was so many things going on in New York City recently about robberies, shootings, and an uptick in violence in New York City. So I was so afraid. I had my luggage with me, my important documents. Like, you know, you just never know. And there were like a lot of interesting personalities on that train. I felt like people were looking at me because I was kind of out of place the way I was dressed. Thank God I got home safe. Like I said, I got home at 3:33 a.m. When I got home, I was still thinking about everything that happened at the face-to-face interview, and there was actually a group chat that one of the girls put together so we can kind of just, you know, see who got their CJOs and when are their training dates gonna be. As soon as I woke up in the morning, it was like, I think I woke up at 10 a.m. The first message I saw on my phone, it was one of the girls saying they got their CJO. I was like, oh my god, that's so exciting. I started looking at my missed calls. I was like, oh my god, did they call me? Because I wasn't receiving anything. So I waited another 30 minutes. Another girl responded, oh my god, they just called me, I got my CJO. And then everybody in the group chat was like, why haven't they called me? And we were kind of just like, oh my gosh, like, are they gonna call us or what? An hour passed by, I still didn't get a call. I went back to sleep. I felt defeated. I was like, oh my gosh. So I was so sad. I went back to sleep, and I literally had a dream that they called me and they offered me a CJO. Specifically, the person that did a virtual interview with me. I had a dream that he called me and I got a CJO. Then I woke up out of my sleep and I looked at my phone and nothing was there. So then I'm going through the group chat, and next thing you know, I get a phone call from, it says such and such airlines, and I'm like, oh my god, you guys, I was so freaking excited. I was so freaking excited. Oh my goodness, I picked up the phone. I picked up my phone. I was like, hello. And the lady was like, hi, is it? I was like, yeah. And she started laughing. She's like, why did you say yeah? And I started laughing. I was like, I don't know. And then she was like, she told me I got my CJO offer and my training day, and I was like, oh my god, that's so happy, thank you, yes. She was like, do you want it? Yeah, I was like, yes. So I'm answering the audio. Oh my god, yes. Woo! Thank you. I was super excited, and I really thought that I was not gonna get it because she called me around like 1 something, and the girls in the group chat, they were getting their calls around 10:30, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was not expecting that phone call. Yeah, you guys, so I got the CJO and they told me my training day was March 18th, and it's for 4 weeks, and I'm super excited to get this started. I'm excited to get this started, this journey. I'm just ready. I'm ready to tackle everything. I think that this airline is, the training is not as intense as like United. I've heard like United is like super hard, and Frontier is, you know, they're a little bit hard as well. And those airlines, I think that you have to have a 90% passing grade. With this airline, I think it's 80 or 85. I have to look that up. But that's, you know, I'm not much of a studious type of person. I never really been great in class, especially with text and all this stuff. So I think I can definitely get that 80. However, you know, I know that I'm going to be practicing like crazy. I'm going to be studying and practicing. I'm going to be really on this, you guys. This is the opportunity for me of a lifetime. This is what I've been waiting for. I have no time to chill and go out after every class. You know, of course I'm gonna need a break. I'm not gonna stay in my room all the time. I kind of just want to enjoy the moment and celebrate our accomplishments. So once or twice I'm gonna go out and hang with my class if we decide to go out or anything like that. I'm not gonna be like an introvert. I'm not gonna be, you know, and I'm just grateful that I got the CJO, and I'm gonna just work so hard. I really hope I get through this training. I just really want to get this done. I saw on TikTok that somebody from my airline, everybody from their class passed, nobody went home without their wings. So I'm super excited for that, you guys. Please stay tuned and request any videos down below. I know this video is super long. I keep talking because it's that story I told you guys. I don't even know why I included that, but I thought it would be interesting. So yeah, so stay tuned if you guys want to follow me along on my journey, and I'll try to stop rambling so much. I'm sorry, I just felt like I need to tell y'all every single detail. And I do want to do a separate video, maybe like on interview questions. And I do also want to say, for every airline it's going to be different, and maybe every season is going to be different. I didn't expect this to happen so fast. So I've heard that it takes some airlines maybe like almost a year or a few months to respond to your application. However, for me and this airline, it went by really fast. And even looking back at other people who applied for this airline, it wasn't that fast, and I wonder why. However, I applied for this airline and a bunch of other airlines. Literally, like, I applied to like 10 different airlines, and this one I just got my CJO for. I applied January 23rd and I got a respond back January 25th. How freaking crazy is that, right? That was so fast and unexpected. And then they gave us the option to choose whenever we wanted to set up our virtual interview. I chose the last day, which is February 5th, because I wanted to make sure I knew enough about this airline so that I can, you know, just look really good on that virtual interview. So he literally offered me my face-to-face interview during that same virtual call. The day that I flew out for the face-to-face hiring event was Wednesday, February 28th. The day of my face-to-face interview was February 29th, and then I got offered my CJO the next day, which was March 1st. So you see how all of that happened in like basically like a month. And now I'm going to my training March 18th. Today is March 4th. You guys, that's a week and a day from now. Like, that's literally right there. You see how fast this happened? Like, after this week I have another week, and I'm out, because I'm pretty sure they're going to fly us out March 17th so that we can be there that morning on March 18th. So you see how fast all of that happened? I was just so shocked and not ready, because a lot of the times people always say it always takes months or, you know, almost a year for these airlines to reply to you. and this just happened so freaking fast, and I'm super excited. The other jobs that I had on my mind, forget those jobs. I'm focused on this. I'm not gonna stress myself out. I'm just ready to get this done with. So I'm done talking. I'm done talking you guys heads off. Like I said, if you have any video suggestions or any questions at all, please comment them down below. I'll try to make a video on it. And you guys, I will see you in training. I cannot wait. I think I'm gonna do a vlog on me like shopping for things for my training. I don't know yet. We'll see. If you are a future flight attendant, or you're in the process, the interview process, or you're trying to wait for a callback, a virtual interview or a face-to-face interview, I wish you all luck. Just be yourself, do your research. I know you probably hate hearing that, but literally do your research, because they can ask you anything, so be prepared. And if they like you, they're just gonna like you. Just be yourself, be authentic, be nice, be kind, smile. Once they see that you're a good person, even if you get nervous like I did, they're gonna give you a chance, you know. This is a really cool airline. I'm glad I went with this airline, and from here on out, it's really up to me to pass these exams and my OE, and the ball is in my court, the ball is in your court, and we're about to get that slam dunk. Subscribe, thumbs up the video if you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.